why the corporate ladder is not worth climbing. So guys, the corporate ladder, moving up in a corporation, there's nothing inherently wrong with that. We all desire more money. We all desire a leadership role. We all desire growth. We all desire to expand our skill set and our knowledge, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. But the corporate ladder is an endless chase for more, right? And every promotion you get, every level you enter in the corporate realm has added responsibility and added stress, right? So, for example, once you get to a certain level in a corporation, you become salary, right? So salary implies that if needed, you will be working when you could or should be resting or doing other things that you want to do, right? Like, for example, let's say you run a convenience store and one of your staff members calls off. Well, if you can't find coverage or you can't get someone to come in, that would mean that you would have to go in, right? After you had just worked a 9-hour day, right? So, and then on top of another promotion, let's say you get another promotion, now you're in charge of more convenience stores or supermarkets or whatever the case may be. Now you have to worry about more people. And there's nothing, like I said, there's nothing wrong with this structure. Like it works. But the problem is that you're always capped at a certain level, right? And the issue is that your cap is determined by, oftentimes, not by how good you are, not by you being inefficient or you not having know-how, but if there's no position available, right? And you believe in your heart that you're ready for the role, that sucks, right? Like you could be in a position where the next role ahead, like you can confidently say like you're able to handle it at a relatively sustainable level. But just because there's not an open role or just because there's no opening, instead of you getting that position, now you end up waiting a year, 2 years, or 3 years for a position that you already knew that you're only getting a $10,000 pay increase, right? I'm just using that number as an example. But do you see my point? Do you see why the corporate ladder just isn't worth it, right? Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't strive for a certain level in a corporation. Like if you want to ascend to a position for that level of income to sustain your expenses or to save enough money at the end of the month to be able to do something outside of that, then that's the ideal sentiment which you want to proceed from. But I would say that just pursuing endless promotions, pursuing endless opportunities, right, with no exit plan, with no alternative, with no outside growth outside of your current environment, it's setting you up not for failure. Like you might end up making $150,000 a year, $200,000 a year, which is awesome money, right? Like I'm not saying it's not, but you're always capped. There's always a cap. And again, the cap doesn't necessarily depend on you. The difference between someone who does business and someone who's in a corporation is that the person who does the business, typically a lot of the work, a lot of the results they get, the monetary results they get, is dependent upon their skill set, is dependent upon them, how well they manage whatever they do, right? Like if it's an online business, how well you manage your online business, how well you manage your store, how well you delegate your staff, if you have people that work under you. So I just think that, in a corporation, these things are all limited by who's above you, right? And the problem here now, this is my next point. The problem with having people above you, it's not a problem. Like we all have to report to somebody, but the issue becomes an issue when you're ready for something more, but there's certain people that are in other positions that you need that actually aren't performing to what their standards, to what they are required to perform at, the level that which they are required to perform at. So now you're in a position where you're stifled, your growth is sort of backtracked, sort of delayed in a way, just because maybe their boss has preferential treatment or doesn't or feels bad, right? So the whole premise of the message that I'm bringing to you guys is to put your success into your own hands, right? It's not that working for someone else is inherently bad, because I think a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners will sit here and just constantly bash like the 9 to 5 and working for other people. It's not that it's a bad thing. It's just that your ceiling is capped. And again, like as a lot of you guys are go-getters. A lot of you guys, you know, you like to hustle, you like to make money, you want to grow, you want to learn different things, right? But you don't want to have to sit there and wait on something that is going to take forever, right? Like that's why I'm so big on side hustles. That's why I'm so big on investing your money, because at least you can see growth. If not in your company, or if you don't see the growth in the company you're working for, at least you can see it on paper outside in your investments and the doubling of your amount of income you make, whether it's a side business, whether it's some form of a side job, right? Like, so again, I mean, it will take you a while to transition out of that if that's your goal. But I think all of you guys can become self-employed at some point. If not self-employed, at least making money on the side, right? Because the whole, again, I'm going to reiterate this, but one of the things you never want to be in a position where your livelihood is in the hands of someone else, right? And unfortunately, the level at which you're at in a corporation, the amount of pay you get, is determined oftentimes by other people, right? You can be the best performing asset to the company. You can be the most competent. You can be the most assertive. You can be the most dominant. You can be the most inquisitive. You can be the most just overall best performer in a lot of different areas, and still not get what you want, because your boss might have preferential treatment for someone else, right? Might have a little bit of favoritism and a lot more connection with someone else, right? And again, I personally don't want to play that game, right? I mean, some people are willing to play that game where they fake liking someone because they want to get paid. I look at it like, okay, look, if I do well in these different metrics, if I do well in margin, if I do well in shrink, if I do well in certain areas of a business over time compared to someone else, why am I not in that position, right? And why are they not fired, terminated, or gone, right? And so again, this isn't something that happens overnight, right? Like it takes time to get rid of people, but it's very frustrating as someone who's a problem solver, right? We're problem solvers, people who go get it, people who go after it, people who hustle. We want to solve our problem of not having enough, not having the freedom we want. So the biggest thing is you just want to consider everything as it relates to you, right? Like you always want to prioritize yourself, right? Because if you don't prioritize yourself in a company or just in life in general, whether it's in dating, if you don't put your needs first, then by default, they're not going to put your needs first. The people above you, your coworkers, they're all in the same game. They're all playing the same game that you're playing, but they're playing it the wrong way. A lot of people play the game where they kiss ass, they try to be cool with the people who they know will be the one to vouch for them and pick them for the higher position, right? But at the end of the day, that's not actually what makes a company grow. That's not what actually increases the company's profits, because at the end of the day, what do companies care about? They care about profits, right? They care about the bottom line. So you could be doing a lot better than someone else, but because they get preferential treatment, because maybe you're the opposite gender, you get the shit end of the stick when it comes to who gets picked for a higher paying position. So I just want to really kind of inspire you guys and resonate with a lot of you guys who are out there. You know, you're sick of the 9 to 5, you're sick of the constant work politics and gossiping and constant meetings, micromanaging meetings that really how many times do you guys go to a meeting and the meeting is the same meeting? It's like they reiterate the same things they talked about before, right? It's like, how many times do I have to hear about certain processes, right? How many times do I have to hear about this, and that? But guys, you also have to realize, as a man, you have to operate from the premise of, I don't listen to, like me personally, I don't listen to what people say. I judge them and I evaluate myself and what I do based off what they do. So someone can sit here and give me lip service. You're doing great. I got your back. you know, you're doing well, right? Some of that, guys, I'll be honest with you, that lip service that you're getting, right? Because they're trying to let you chase the carrot stick, right? Keep trying, keep chasing, keep working harder. Just another 6 months, just another year, right? Just give it a little bit more time, right? And then you'll get your promotion, then you'll get your raise, then you'll get your higher paying position, right? They try to do that. They do that so that you don't leave the company, because it's harder to replace you. It's harder to train somebody, right? It's easier for them to try to keep you by giving you lip service than it is for you to leave, quit, and train someone else who will be as good as you are in your position right now. That's the truth. That's the cold, hard truth. And again, I don't like this, right? I'm not saying I like this, but this is the reality. This is how shit is played out in real life. They won't tell you this in the corporate world. They won't tell you this in school. They won't tell you this at university. Your parents probably won't speak on this, but that is how shit actually plays out in the real world. I'm living in it right now, and I've lived it for the past 10 years, ever since I began working at 16, right? So I'm not like, this isn't coming from a lack of experience. I'm experiencing it right now. I've experienced it in the past. And you just don't want to be at the shit end of the stick. If you want to keep working your job, I'm not saying quit, right? But build your escape plan, right? How much can you earn on the side doing something else? How much can you invest, right, to set up a 5-year plan? In 5 years, I'm going to make $4,000 passively through a side business, or I'm going to make $4,000 passively through swing trading or real estate, right? Like, you want to come up with a logical plan that you can aspire to and work towards, that will get you out of that situation to where maybe you can live off some of your passive income and maybe just work part-time, or maybe you work a job where you don't have to deal with any people. Maybe you can just do food delivery or Uber, right? Like, there's a lot of options, and it's just about you being a strategist, right? It's about you putting yourself in the driver's seat of your own life and your own path as it pertains to becoming successful, making a lot of money, and creating the freedom you want for you and the people that you spend your time with. So anyways, guys, that's it. That's all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, make sure to subscribe. If you guys have any questions, comments, feel free to leave them down below. And as always, I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.